And the Riot podcast for Wednesday. Who's getting excited about it?
Oh, we are.
Yeah.
Hands are going up across the podcast world.
Woo.
Oh, now that's a spoiler because we talk about the woo
we
assassins.
do talk about the woo. That's a good call. Whoa, woo.
So we talked Netflix with, I don't know if you're putting that in here, but we did talk about that this morning.
Well, we could talk about, it's Netflix Woo Assassins. We also talk about, man, it sounds so boring, the CBS Viacom merger, but that's like, it's a thing that affects your entertainment, so it's very real.
It sounds still boring when we say that.
Anyway.
Oh, no. See, you're boring yourself.
You know what? Forget it. Let's just get right into it. You guys enjoyed the podcast. Remember, there's a bunch of extra stuff, like past interviews and all that. RIOT.radiou.com.
We did yesterday, if you missed it in the podcast, a Honduras riot food fight. So if you want to not only listen, but you missed yesterday and you want to watch it, RadioU Riot on Facebook or YouTube, you can join us on our channel there.
Yeah. Anything else?
Have a great day. Thanks for listening to the podcast today. We hope something strikes a chord.
See ya.
Bye.
Enjoy. Bye.
A Rotten Tomatoes score so high, they refuse to make it public. The Riot on Radio U.
Happy Wednesday.
Now, Nikki, we've talked about this multiple times over multiple years, but I just want to know if we're ever going to have an answer to the question.
And the question is?
Will we ever not be tired?
Never. Ever, ever, ever.
Man.
Do you find freedom in knowing that we never will?
No.
Or never not be tired?
Because there's part of me that still reaches out like, no, this week will be different.
You still have hope.
This day will be different. We'll do it differently.
I don't know. I mean, they're like, oh, go to bed earlier. You're still tired. Oh, take a quick little cat nap in the afternoon. Still tired. Oh, take a long nap. Still tired. Everybody's still tired.
The cat nap helps, but it doesn't help me now. I mean, it helped me yesterday afternoon.
But you don't feel like it fills in enough of the space so that when we get up for the show, the only time we ever feel well rested and actually getting a long enough amount of sleep is normally 4 or 5 days into a vacation.
Yes.
The day before you're supposed to like come back.
Do you think the ancients felt this way?
I think they went to bed and like rose with the sun or did whatever.
And so like they were not so tired all the time?
Probably.
Okay. Because I just feel like I'm always tired no matter what.
You're consistent.
Yeah. Oh,
That's
yeah.
good.
And this morning I did run this morning, but the thing that I found myself thinking, and it actually worked in my favor, was I was like, no, I'm not going to exercise today. I'm just going to sleep. And I literally thought, well, sure, you can just sleep, but it's not going to matter.
Still going to be tired.
You're still going to be incredibly tired when you wake up, and you'll just have not worked out. And it's like, well, if that's the case, I might as well just go.
Well, you're on a schedule. Even if it's a bad schedule, you're on a schedule. Still going to be tired.
Yeah, all right.
Good morning, Ryan. He says, woo, morning, guys. Thank you for the good morning text.
So it's a woo morning.
It is a woo morning.
Okay.
Everything you love about the Riot, plus a handy-dandy fast-forward option. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
It's something we're all destined for. And we don't think we will be. Like, no. We would never be that guy. But I think something happens to you somewhere between 18 and 61. And you go from being, there for the good times, for the loud music, for the whatever.
Something changes?
All of a sudden, you're just like, man, shut up and get out. I don't know what changes. It could be. Honestly, like, Nikki, I could be in the middle of the transformation right now.
You think so?
It could be years and years of just being like, I'm so tired. I'm so tired.
But it's just the noise and all that stuff that goes with it. You just want quiet.
Something. So there in Florida, they had a man who was 61.
Yeah.
He's in his neighborhood. And
is that old enough to be the grumpy old man?
I feel like it is. Now, I'm not saying that everyone who's 61 is old or even grumpy. But
the combination could happen.
I feel like there's a thing here. Now, at about 1 a.m., the grumpy old man left his apartment and went outside and was like, you guys need to keep it down. And what was happening was there was a group of, and I'm going to use his words here, kids hanging outside celebrating somebody's 18th birthday.
That sounds fun.
It was 1 a.m. They had their music up real loud in the car.
Little late because you got to be considerate of others. Little late.
So he says, or they say, that he threatened to kill them, like to get a gun and shoot them all. And then he
Which
left.
you can see a grumpy old man saying, yeah.
Then he left and came back, and he started spraying them all down with roach spray.
Oh, gosh.
Which, that's the thing, but that's not my favorite part.
What else did he do?
The roach spray to me seems quasi-effective, because I'll be honest, if I was somewhere and I'm like, I'm not leaving, and you started spraying me with roach spray, I'd be like, you know what? I am leaving.
I think I'll go right now. But I feel like when you start off with that escalates it so fast.
Yeah.
Cops could be called, even if, they're the ones actually doing something.
So they do this, and then he gets out the nunchucks.
The older guy does?
Yeah. And he begins to swing them.
Aw. What are we doing?
He's doing his moves. And he's doing his moves at these teenagers. But here's the thing. It doesn't work out. He ends up swinging at them. It hits the car, and it bounced back and hits him in the face.
I can see that happening.
His mugshot is bloody, and one eye is almost swollen shut.
And it looks like it was the 18-year-olds at him, but really?
That's all him swinging the nunchuck and hitting himself in the face. So the moral of the story is we could all use more sleep and nunchuck lessons.
Well, nunchuck lessons, if not, you wait on that until you're ready, okay? There's all these other stuff that you could have done before then.
Yeah, he could have just called
sprays.
He could have just called the police.
Maybe he did.
There's some kids out here making the noises. I don't pay my taxes to not be able to sleep.
Maybe. Wow. That really sounds like a grumpy old man right there.
I borrowed that from House Party.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay. He's reaching way back.
Well, you got to do what you got to do.
You do. And sometimes it's being grumpy at people who won't be quiet when it's ready to go to bed.
Nunchucks, baby. Come on.
Wow. Not only are you already awake, but you're listening to The Riot? Your day is off to a pretty rough start. The Riot on Radio U.
This may be a little more inside baseball than you want to know about, but let's talk about the merger that is happening in the entertainment world. CBS and Viacom are becoming one company again. They're just going to become Viacom. And that means it's so funny to read. I actually was fascinated by some of the commentary I read yesterday because there's all this stuff. I mean, you hear that story and you're like, who even cares, right? But one of the things they pointed out, like this, all of a sudden turns CBS All Access into a huge deal because that means that Paramount, that no longer is part of the ultraviolet streaming stuff, all those Paramount movies, they don't license those to other people anymore. They just shove them all down into
CBS All Access,
which probably ends up becoming something else, but it's the same thing. So you put all your content in one spot.
So what you mean is CBS All Access right now is like a dumping ground,
a wasteland for crap,
for weird shows, and then a couple of CBS shows that they're trying to push, but for some reason they don't put actually on the network itself.
Right.
But now it'll have more movies.
Well, not right away. It'll take a little while, but they're saying that, like, hey, this will completely revamp this. And, of course, the headline is like, Netflix should be worried. But this is an example
no one's worried.
Up until now, Paramount has only licensed their stuff out to companies like Netflix. Now they are most likely going to be funneling all of that into their own service. So we all lose.
This is more of another case of in the future, Netflix will just keep losing movies and it'll move to another streaming service because these companies just all want to take control over their own content, keep it on their own thing, and then we're forced to pay more monthly service fees to different companies.
We're not forced, Nikki.
We have the opportunity, the privilege
to make the choice.
Yeah, there's a choice.
There is a choice there.
I just I want them to slow their roll and just realize as they look at their catalog, can they tell us, is it worth us watching any of it, or are we fine to not watch any of those movies?
I don't know. Like, offhand, the only thing, like, classic...
Because I think only Disney can say, for Disney Plus, like, they're the only probably big enough company that can say, oh, people will want to watch all of our movies.
Yeah. Go. Though, they've got The Godfather.
Yeah.
Remember we were talking about movies from the 1970s the other day? There you go.
Anything else you could tell me?
Well, there is one thing that this, again, it's pretty nerdy, but it's kind of a big deal.
Oh, the Star Trek stuff?
I learned a lot yesterday. Okay, so you know how Paramount's been making those Star Trek movies with Yo Man?
Chris Pine? Yeah.
His blue eyes.
Piercing
into your
blue
soul.
Eyes. I support him, but not those movies.
Okay, so he's been making those movies with Paramount, right?
Yeah.
So those Star Trek movies have had to be separate from whatever Star Trek TV stuff that they've been doing with CBS, because CBS had the TV rights to Star Trek,
but not
and
the movie?
Paramount had the movie rights to Star Trek. So those rights come back together. So now they're in a position that they could make TV shows based on the stuff they've seen in those movies and vice versa and all this kind of stuff. So they were talking about how, like, bringing that all together, there's a good chance that they could end up launching some big bunch of Star Trek nonsense. Now, Nikki just made fun of me by crossing her fingers.
No, it was more like, fingers crossed, hopefully so.
Nikki, the state of Star Trek right now is not great.
Is it? Has it been tough? Well, I appreciate any fandom. You know, it might not be something that I want to watch, but we still appreciate it.
Well, so bottom line is, this just screws Netflix over a little bit more so that other people can start asking for more money from you, which more and more makes my stupid little private collection seem like a...
Because you bought the movies.
So I'm like, oh, this movie's only available on this service. Ask me if I care.
Because he already owns it. We're going to be coming to you.
Instead of paying you $6 a month, I paid you $25 one time.
Obi is the one who won.
Oh, yeah. I'm really smart.
Well, it's interesting. Everybody seems to be reshuffling so they can grab a hold of what they think might actually bring people to their own service.
Yeah. Keep your service.
I don't have any extra monthly things for that. I mean, there has to be a breaking point where we can't join all the services.
Yes, you can.
They want us to, but we probably should not. We're going to have to cut somewhere.
No, Nikki. You're signing up for everything.
Not at Star Trek. You have to join that one.
You're going to sign up for everything. If you have to get a second job, then you do.
It was bad enough the first time around, but now it's worse. Don't believe us? Just keep listening. You'll find out soon enough. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
I know nobody wants to really hear this, but I think it's worth hearing so that in...
It's better it comes from us, right?
All right. Yeah, I guess. You think about what these people have to say. So in Minnesota, the Minnesota Department of Health yesterday issued a warning about vaping. And you're like, well, who cares? Everybody's blah, blah, blah. And that's just big tobacco trying to keep you from vaping.
And I didn't know you were on that side.
So here's what, to be clear, this is the first time, at least in Minnesota, that their Department of Health has issued a warning directly linking illnesses that are currently ongoing with vaping specifically.
So what illnesses are they saying?
They, I actually don't have. They're some sort of a lung illness. They've got 4 different people under the age of 18 that are at Children's Hospital in Minnesota, and they can directly link their current lung condition to vaping.
Gotcha.
And so they say that it's very similar, and I don't have a list of what they actually have. One of them had to go to intensive care. The other 3 have been in the hospital for at least a week. So are they in the hospital right now? It's been over the the last couple of months. So if you're like, I'm going to the hospital, show me these patients.
I want to know.
Okay.
They might be out already.
So they said that they match other cases, 6 in Illinois, and there are 12 in Wisconsin. Now, they say they are not yet ready to officially say that they are a match, but they appear to be a match. And it's the same thing where these are vaping-related lung conditions.
Listen, I would tell you once, would tell you twice. If it's something fun, it's going to hurt you in the long run. It's just how it is.
I just think that it's worth taking a look at because I realize some people turn to vaping to stop smoking, and I don't know what's better, whatever, but I do know this, that back in the day, they told you smoking was healthy. I feel a lot of people making at least similar to neutral claims regarding vaping. I feel like it would be worth your while to take a good look. And if you haven't started anything, remember this. Something that you don't start is something you don't have to stop.
That's not just for vaping.
That's
across the board.
There it is, man. I'll tell you right now, whatever it is that somebody's getting you to try to do, if you don't start, you don't have to stop. Because my personal experience in this area is stopping is enormously harder than starting.
Correct.
Starting is so easy.
It's such a pain. You don't want to stop, but you have to, and then you got to go through all that.
So it's something to think about.
And think of all the extra money you'll have if you never get into it.
Exactly. And again, that goes for anything. like movie buying.
I know.
Think of all the extra money you'll have if you
never got into it.
If you don't get into collecting that.
This is a blanket warning for across the board.
We're helping.
Maybe the riot would sound better if they spent less time improving their lives at their gym. That was sarcasm. It's the riot on RadioU.
Nikki, did you watch Woo Assassins over the weekend?
I did not. Netflix showed it to me. They said, "Hey, we think you might want to watch this," but I did not watch it.
You got
I got
Woo
wooed.
Assassin written all over you.
Netflix was wooing me.
They were wooing you to do this.
But I did not say yes. I did not watch it. Did you watch any of it?
I watched the first episode. That's a weird show.
Why? Like its look or writing or
kind of that.
Everything?
It just kind of starts. They do try to build the character, but it felt like a lot of just kind of scenes that were all thrown together.
Like they just dump you in it?
Yeah, I didn't feel like the writing was very good. Like things, when this guy finds out he's, this mystical Woo assassin, it is just like the most random, weird, like, oh yeah, I'm the Woo assassin now. Cool.
Oh, great. Thank you.
All right. Whatever. It's odd. At the same time, the martial arts in it are spectacular. Like great fight scenes. So, I mean, if you like the fight scenes, you can just skip the rest.
Woo on over there.
Just woo yourself on over there. It feels like, okay. Do you remember how we talked about Aquaman? How it feels like an American show or an American movie that was made in China with Chinese audiences in mind.
Sure.
And
which is very common for stuff now.
This feels like a Chinese show that is made for American audiences. So, like, it's a fine line.
Some of the stuff they're putting in there is what they expect to think we might expect to see in there, but we might not actually want to see in there.
Yeah, that's complicated, but that's it.
We're walking on the same line there.
It is. And it happens in San Francisco, Chinatown. So the idea is it's set in the United States, but it's very firmly planted in Chinese mythology. And the lead is actually, I believe he's certainly Asian, but I believe he is a Chinese actor. But I'm not, I'd have to double check on that. But then it's got a couple of other well-known martial artists that are from China that do some of the stunts and stuff like that. So I don't know. After one episode, I was like,
that might be enough.
A lot of people are saying that it's so much better than Iron Fist. Yeah, can we set our standards just a little bit higher?
I don't think that's the best one to compare to. It's hard because you want a new show. Like you desperately want a new, fun, amazing show. Yeah. And you're not going to get it.
Ever?
Well,
you think fun, amazing shows are over now?
It's hard to find one that really actually checks all the boxes.
Nikki, then you need to be wooed.
I don't think that one checks the boxes off.
All right. Okay.
They think it does, but it does not.
There's obviously a love story that's beginning to develop between the owner of the restaurant and this guy.
They're hoping that gets
working a food truck. They want him to work at the restaurant instead of the food truck.
Yeah!
You were one of the lucky few who missed the riot when they were live. Yet here you are.
I also like to live dangerously.
This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Nikki, sometimes it's hard to be a comic book fan because...
What do you mean?
Well, because you don't get the respect that you deserve.
Yeah.
People think that you're, some kind of an
making wrong
idiot.
Choices.
You wants to read about a man in tights saving the world. But here's the thing. We're not all stupid. And that's what ended up coming to the forefront in St. Louis over the weekend. Martin Casa. He's got a storage locker that he maintains. And he also runs a comic book shop.
Oh, is this the guy? He was not making right choices. Is that the person?
Well, there was a guy who broke into that storage facility.
Yeah.
And stole all the comic books out of the storage locker and then brought them to the comic shop in town to sell them.
Okay, so this isn't the guy I thought. I thought there was a story about a guy who was stealing his own stash of comics, or he was from the store, selling them when he wasn't really supposed to, but he's selling them personally. So this is something different.
No, this is something different.
Did he recognize that they were his?
Oh, yeah. He said I love this. So this woman comes in and is like, hey, I got some comics. You want to buy them? And he's like, yeah, bring them in. We buy comics. And he looks at him and he's like, he said as soon as he saw the box, he knew it was his. He's like, this is mine. So he called the police. And so she had no idea what was going on. So I'm trying to see like if she dropped it off or what it was.
So she being the person who stole the comic books from the storage unit?
Mm-hmm. So she and her boyfriend, she claimed to have bought them in auction, like they'd auctioned off a storage unit. So they came in, police arrested her and the boyfriend, and it looks like, they may have found the rest of his collection. And he got it all back. So that's something.
Isn't it nice? No, it's a shame something gets stolen. That no one wants that to happen to them. But can you imagine how nice it would be you don't even have to look for it. Like they found the person. You found your stuff back.
You got it.
Good.
Yeah. So have you ever had a storage thing?
A storage locker?
Yeah.
No, I've only watched a couple of episodes of like that show where they're like, what's in it?
Those aren't real. Those are plants.
Well, I don't think most storage units probably have anything that's worth a lot of money. Or it used to be popular for the people who would live in storage units for a while.
Yeah, I saw that.
How could they sneak and stay in there?
I saw a CSI where they were doing illegal surgery in storage units.
Where?
No, it wasn't real. It was just a story.
Yeah. Where would that be?
I don't know. Storage unit. Also, if you saw, what was that movie?
You go to the dentist. You're like, where is he?
Where they built a time machine and they had it in a storage unit. It was called not Looper. It wasn't Primer. That's Primer. What it was. Yeah. What?
Nothing.
What? Dude, I helped a friend move one time.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. We got all his house moved and stuff, and I was like, all right, we're done. Like, finally.
Oh.
And then once we got done, we got everything off the truck and into the house.
Dropped the news.
It was like, oh yeah, now we just need to go over to the storage unit. And it was like,
what? Why do you have one?
What are you talking about? We're done. Like,
now I can understand storing some things, but I feel like most people, you just got to go through your things. We don't need a storage unit. We don't need a storage unit.
You're probably right.
Just clean out some stuff.
Instead of a storage unit, it's time for you to clean house.
Yeah, go through sell some items, donate some stuff, keep a couple of items, but you don't need your own other space.
I hear the local comic shop is buying.
Just don't try to sell them their own.
In case you're wondering, yes, we do get complaints.
They have gone too far. This time, they are going to be held accountable.
You're listening to The Riot on RadioU.
Nikki, do you find yourself wanting to take excessive naps?
Not normally. It just depends on the time of day, like the day of the week and the week of the month and the month of the year.
Okay.
Sometimes I'm into naps more than other times.
So if you are catnapping during the day, they say, and this is according to a study done at the University of California, San Francisco, they say that catnaps can be a sign that you're at risk for Alzheimer's.
Really? Why? Because you just fall asleep?
They say the brain cells that keep you awake are some of the first to go.
Yeah, you can't say that, though, about like our generation, because we're constantly moving. We're doing stuff, okay? And sometimes you just need a nap to recharge.
So, okay. I hear what you're saying. But I've just reached a point where I just take a nap every day now, if I can. I mean, I can't always, but I'm just like, yeah, man, I'll take a nap.
I'll do that. No problem.
Why not? Sure.
What is their cat nap? Because we mentioned before, too, they say that sometimes you just like take a quick 20, 30-minute cat nap.
Yeah.
Sometimes if I do that, I don't feel well. I have to then take a longer nap in order to actually feel refreshed. So that's why sometimes I just don't even bother.
Well, I had a period of time there where I was doing the 2 to 3 hour nap.
That's nighttime. That's almost our nighttime hours.
That's not good. That's not good. So I have started, if I want to take a nap, well, I just set an alarm and I make it 30 minutes. And it's like, hey, whatever happens in 30 minutes, best of luck to you.
You either get to sleep or we're resting, but that's all the time we get.
But that's all you get. You cannot spend the day sleeping, because I might.
Yeah, I wish we didn't tell people these things, because now in your mind, you're like, oh, I'm going to take a cat nap. Oh, no, what's the matter with me?
I have a problem.
Now I can't not think about it, when it was nice just to be innocent, have an innocent nap.
Is it innocent, though, Nikki?
It was. No one had to know. You didn't have to tell everybody or post on social media like, just woke up from my next nap.
You know what I'd like to do? I would like to get people together, and I would like for us to start destigmatizing naps.
That's
what I would like.
Good call.
Because if you tell people you took a nap, it's just like, man, you're lazy. Like, look at how lazy you are, just laying around.
They don't know that you got up way earlier than everybody else. You've been working all day, and your afternoon just happens to fall earlier because of how early we get up.
Yeah.
So what is a 20, 30-minute nap? It's not a lazy thing.
You're like, I went running past your house this morning. The lights were off.
Well, you were still sleeping, so that's lazy.
I had friends making fun of me last night. We were playing the Division 2 online, and they're like, all right, Grandpa.
Oh, because you have to go to bed earlier?
And I was just like, I'll tell you what. I got your number here. I'll call you in the morning when I get up. We'll get up together.
Yeah, and you can get up and play early then.
We can play early in the morning. Anybody up for that? Well, no.
Then you'll find yourself really desperately wanting a cat nap later on, no matter what you think it might says about you.
Does anybody feel like the Riot has a chip on their shoulder about it?
No, but we do feel better talking about it, don't we?
It's fine.
The Riot really wanted to do this live, but now they can play video games and eat rice cakes instead. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
As you're no doubt aware, Nikki will be joining the Navy later this year.
I am?
Yeah.
Boy, you keep coming up with great things for me to do.
The thing is, after Nikki got caught yesterday drug muling.
No, I did not.
I see they kept your passport because I don't see it.
No, I have my passport.
Yeah.
I brought my passport to work for something yesterday, and I know to never do that again.
Okay.
But I don't think the Navy wants me, so I don't need to worry about that.
Well, the Navy's got news, Nikki, and I will tell you, I consider this to be Nikki unfriendly news. On board,
they're gonna start taking people like me. I feel like I have a bad attitude that would come out if I had to join something.
Well, you've got a bad attitude that comes out here.
Oh, I try to keep it I squash it here.
Well, I mean, sure,
just don't
in
want
the
to be yelled at
in the studio, but like upstairs.
Yeah. Oh, is that where?
That's where the attitude. Nikki's sitting there with her headphones on, not listening to anything, just pretending. She's looking out at everybody.
Like, what's going on?
If you want to talk to her, you have to go into her office and you have to close the door. And
you
then
don't
you have to brace yourself.
All right, so what about the Navy? What about the Navy?
Well, they say on their destroyers, they're going to be going in and replacing the touchscreen controls that now exist with actual buttons.
Why? People couldn't use the touchscreen?
They say the touchscreens were too confusing and in some cases,
you could accidentally squish it.
Mm-hmm. So they say the stuff with the USS John McCain, that collision that took place, they say that they feel like part of these touchscreen these touchscreen controls contributed to
some of those collisions.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I would have never thought about that.
So they're like, nuh-uh, we're going back to buttons, guys.
We have touch screens on some of the computers here. And in some cases, it's good to have. And then we had touch screens on other computers where it's like, we don't need that. So better to get a better, bigger monitor and not pay the extra price for the touch screen.
There is truth to the fact that touchscreen, I mean, the one I've got right here is a multi-touch that we use for certain things.
Yours makes sense there.
It does make sense. But we went through a brief period where we felt like we needed them everywhere. And
that's because everybody was pushing it as here you go, you got to have touchscreen.
I mean, it's just so natural for you to reach out and touch it. It's like, well, I already have a tablet.
And then you're right.
Phone.
You're like, oops, I brushed past or I touched it, but my finger also touched the wrong section. Like it was very sensitive.
Yeah. Actually, they came in and asked us, hey, do you want a touch screen for the on-air computer? And I was like, don't you dare.
We do not want that.
Don't you dare.
No, it's hard enough keeping RadioU on. We don't want to take it off.
Put a touch screen in here, somebody sneezes, and the next thing you know, we're in a remix and we never come back.
We can never recover from it.
Yeah, so that's something that they're doing. They say that they're not banning touchscreen tech from all over the Navy, but these destroyers are going to go back to buttons. Do you call it upgraded? Do you call it downgraded? Is it a
reshuffling?
It's a lateral move.
It's a lateral move. It's just reorganizing back to a more common practice.
It's a lateral move. You're going to get a ton more responsibility, no more pay, but it's definitely not a promotion.
You're going to love it.
So,
well, thanks for the Navy news.
Yeah, well, Nikki, I just know with your upcoming Sailor Nikki adaptation.
They're not going to take me.
They will.
They're not going to take me.
They will.
I gave during the last fundraiser, and all I got was this crappy morning show. This is The Riot on listener-supported Radio U.
Good morning, guys.
I want to say good morning to Sherry. She sent me something that is...
We didn't get to it yesterday, but we have it for today.
I love this thing, right? So she texted in this Reddit forum, and it's a Reddit nostalgia forum, and in there someone has photoshopped a Yankee candle, and it's a Blockbuster-scented Yankee candle. So like Blockbuster Video scent for a Yankee candle.
But it's not true.
It's not real. Though it's weird enough that I'd be like, you know what, I'd probably buy that. Just what a weird, this is fond memory, BO and carpet fragrance.
See, we don't know. I can't recall what a Blockbuster actually smelled like. The only smell we still remember is when they closed down all the ones in our area. They had those clearance sales, so you had to go and look, and it was mostly just a lot of candy.
It smelled like mold in there.
But when we went in, it smelled like this very harsh chemical cleaner and, mold, like a bucket of water and cleaner just sat around for days. Ugh. It was a terrible smell, and I remember it was right when you entered in, and it was like, well, maybe we don't want to go in.
Well, it was certainly enough to make you not want anything from inside that store.
But I don't think that's what it smelled like it was just open. No. I think that was just something with the clearance time.
I can't think of it. I did have, it's a real bummer. Many of you asked, and I can't remember if we talked about it on the air or not.
Go?
Okay.
Yeah, we did talk about it.
I was about 90 minutes away from the Blockbuster, the last Blockbuster in the world.
It's in Bend, Oregon?
It is, and I didn't get to go, and it was like this. So I'm with family. We're 90 minutes from the Blockbuster, and we're 5 hours from home. And if I had gotten us to take the 90 minutes to the Blockbuster, it would have been 90 minutes out and back.
90 minutes
so
back.
We would have been 8 hours on the road.
If it was just you, it would have been fine.
No,
but you should have gone. I mean, you need to be the person who's been to the last Blockbuster.
I couldn't agree with you more, but I also knew there's no way I was selling it. There's no way.
The rest of your family was like, no way.
They'd be like, this is so stupid. Why are we doing this?
Especially when it's extended family and like they know you, but they don't really know you. Like they don't know how important it would have been for you to go to the last Blockbuster.
And how cool it would have been to
take a picture in front of it.
Because we're really just there for the Instagram, for the membership card, and the
You should
t-shirt.
have gotten a shirt.
I know.
I know you'll go back because Obi's extended family lives in Oregon, but still, you should have gone.
I'll tell you what. Next time, I'll just rent a car and go. That's what I should have done.
And I know you're saying that, and I want you to mean it.
Oh, okay. Is this like the time?
I don't want you to just talk about it. I want you to actually understand how important it would be. That's like a bucket list.
No, that feels like when you tell somebody you're sorry and they're like, you don't mean it. That's what that feels like. I want you to say it.
Say it like you mean it.
I don't think you meant it.
I don't, because I thought you were going to go. I thought for sure you would make your way there. I understand why you did not go. But when you go back to Oregon next time, you need to be there.
There's one more thing about it that is the reason why I didn't make it. And that is, not only was I with all this extended family, but one member of my extended family has an RV. And
Were you all in the RV?
That is a whole Clark Griswold, insane level story for another time. But yeah, we were all in the RV.
Oh, so it's not easy to even just travel in it.
If we had separate cars, I probably could have gotten a cousin to be like, look, bro, you and me, we're going over there. Forget the grown-ups. We're going to this thing.
If not, too, an RV to me, because I've never traveled in one, but it seems like, what is that, $900 worth of gas for 90 minutes?
Do you want to know? 6 miles to the gallon.
Whoa! You can't take that.
So that trip to Blockbuster, $100.
Yes. And time.
Right.
90 minutes there and 90 minutes back.
Which, again, is why I knew.
There's
no way
you should go.
I was selling it.
Yeah.
The time, the money, everyone having to be inconvenienced so I could do what I wanted.
But if you would have, at least they would have had a place to hang out at while you went into the Blockbuster. They could have stayed in the RV.
They could have,
that
right?
That would have been expensive.
I know.
Oh, well.
I know. I know all these things. And now I guess I'm going to have to try to find this fake candle to burn just so I can feel like I went.
Thanks for sending us that. But yeah, that's a fake photo. It's not real.
Using advanced technology, we've digitized and transcoded Obadiah and Nikki into a purely digital format. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Okay, Nikki, you have an iPhone.
I do.
Okay. Do you have more than one charger
I do, yeah.
Did you buy them directly from Apple?
No, I did not. I have charging pads, and so
Okay.
I bought those from Amazon.
You did.
No need. We can go off market for those.
Don't feel like it's as important?
Oh, no. And even when I charged, like with the charging cable on my phones, those things would always... Well, or I'll say it this way.
Here it comes.
The Apple ones were so expensive, but they did last. But we would buy like the party pack on Amazon.
Yeah.
And it's the real like heavy duty ones. And those would still go bad after a while. But you had like 18, so it was no big deal.
Okay.
So we usually would go that way.
Well, I am looking at an article here from Vice, and they're talking about the fact that apparently some of the cables that you're buying on Amazon, the Apple, let's see what they call them. Are they lightning cables? Mm-hmm. That they actually have, even though they look completely legit,
I'm sure
and
they're
they
not.
look great and all that stuff, inside the USB part that plugs into the USB port on your computer, in there, you will find a small chip that is actually able to remotely hack your computer and give someone access to it. Yes.
No way.
I just sent you the link.
Really?
Yep.
Can't we just have a cable? Can't we just have a lightning cable?
Mm-hmm.
No way. So wait, they can only access it like if your laptop was turned on, and you would notice, wouldn't you?
I guess.
I never understood that. I mean, I know it's possible to access and take over someone's computer. Understand that, but I would think you would notice.
Wow. So it really is amazing. The company in this case, they said it is the OMG cable is what they call it.
Well, they put it in the name. I mean, afterwards you're saying, oh my.
So apparently MG is a security researcher, and he was showing people how to
access
make them.
computers that way?
He's just like, hey, look, this is a problem to let you know. So he was at DEF CON, which is a hacking conference, but it's a hacking, but it's an anti-hacking kind of thing. I don't know that much about the scene, but I do know this guy was showing everybody how to make these cables, and he was saying, hey, these are super common.
They also say that a hacker can remotely kill the implant that's in the USB part, hiding evidence of its use or existence.
It's crazy.
That is weird.
It is crazy.
But that's the lightning cable, right? Not like a charging cable?
Well, yeah. I mean, I guess that's true. So it's one of those things where it's not hacking your phone, it's to hack a computer.
It's hacking your laptop.
If you would say, want to sync your phone to your computer or something like that, then it would give them access to your laptop.
What are you syncing about?
I'm known to do it from time to time. Plug my phone into my... Well, I typically do that more with my tablet than my phone,
yeah.
but... Yeah, it
it's
happens.
Nothing sacred anymore.
No, it's not.
Can we just not hack into each other's things?
So all I'm telling you is be super careful with the kind of cables you buy. I'm always up for buying the cheap knockoff cable.
Maybe it's better not to. It doesn't mean you have to go all the way into a pure Apple cable, but we can find a different deal.
Nikki, who can afford a pure Apple cable?
I mean, you could barely...
Who has that kind of money?
You could barely afford the Apple product you just bought. You don't have any money left.
Yeah, I mean, I'm eating soup beans for the next year.
Just to afford the laptop in the first place.
Exactly that. Well, there you go. Be on the lookout.
Be aware.
And be careful.
Hey, so what do you think of Obadiah?
The truth is, he's not a very nice person.
Okay, well, what about Nikki?
The very best there is.
You're listening to The Riot on Radio U.
I want you to know that humanity is not, some sort of an intense cesspool. They just hate you.
Oh, it's just a personal thing against you.
It's not that there are not good people out there doing good things.
Does that make you feel better?
They're just not interested in helping you.
Is that worse or better?
So, for example, we have a baby raccoon with a brain injury.
Oh, no.
Okay. Now, listen, I'll tell you what you're supposed to do with a baby raccoon with a brain injury.
No, you do not. Don't you dare put the gun away. No, that's not what you do. No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not. And that's not you.
This baby raccoon has a brain injury. First off, how do we know it has a brain injury?
That's not for you to make the call on.
Or, did we...
You need to take it to the raccoon sanctuary, do everything that you can, make sure that it isn't savable, and it's not for us to figure out.
And personally
then pay
assume the money that's required.
If it needs
Nikki,
to.
you feel like you sound like a spokesperson for the Veterinary Doctors of America.
When they see me coming, they're like,
everyone's responsibility to pay for the raccoons' health care.
They're going to be like seeing me coming going, she's going to pay for all that stuff.
All right,
she
make
will.
sure, run all the tests.
Okay, we need to know everything.
Does this raccoon have any food allergies?
Bring in all the other raccoons and just say it's for that one, but test them all.
You know that raccoons eat trash, sir? I don't care. We need to test it.
They're so cute, though.
Okay, well.
In a bandit sort of way.
Well, here's the deal. We've got this...
raccoon with a brain injury?
Yeah, and so a New Hampshire animal aid group, Walkin' Pets, has designed a special wheelchair for this raccoon with its brain injury so it can continue to... What?
Do raccoon things.
Dig through your trash?
We only see them at our dumpster. That's all we see. Usually there's a little raccoon family.
So when I see this raccoon in its wheelchair digging through the dumpster, I'll be like, oh, look, it's the one from New Hampshire.
I don't know.
Wonderful.
It might stay in the area there, but so what are they going to do? Is it free? Is it out of the sanctuary, or are they keeping it in the sanctuary?
So Susan Curtis, she's a wildlife rehab specialist. She's adopted Vittles, which is the name of the raccoon, and it will be living in her home.
Gotcha.
So just to be clear, no one wants to help you. But there's an entire group of people that are dedicated to use their private money and resources to build a wheelchair for a brain-damaged raccoon, bring that raccoon into their home, raise them and care for them, but who cares about you?
But your mom doesn't even want you to come over.
In the meantime, your mom's trying to get you to move out, is not helping you pay for college.
Is not supporting you anymore.
And is tired of your drama.
Okay. That's how it is. Aw. It's like looking at life right there. What's that?
I'm just trying to get some perspective. That's all.
But I'm glad, though, that someone is wanting to take care of the raccoon.
At its heart, I don't mind that. Mm-hmm. It's just man's inhumanity to man, but our humanity to the raccoon. You know?
You see, you're noticing something there.
It's fine. It's fine.
Well, keep us updated if there's anything else we can do for the raccoon.
If you're looking for all the funny moments you missed during the riot, we apologize. You won't find them here. There weren't any. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
What do you wear for perfume /cologne /Uday toilet?
What do I wear?
Yeah.
I actually do not wear any.
You don't?
You want to know why? We had a former employee who was blind, and if I ever wore perfume, it would mess with his senses.
He couldn't smell, okay.
And he would never, I would usually hear about it if I wore anything, so I just stopped wearing perfume.
Okay. I don't wear cologne day to day just because, well, you know what? Truth be told, I had a deviated septum.
Yeah.
If I wore cologne, it made me sneeze.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yourself?
Uh-huh. And after I got my deviated septum fixed, I can wear cologne now. I just never do.
Never go back to it?
Yeah, I guess too long without it.
We have streamlined our get ready routine in the morning to where
I can't add anything.
There's no time to even add it's just a spritz here or there.
Nope.
No, we cannot possibly add anything else to what we do during the day. So if that means we're not wearing perfume or cologne, we don't wear it.
Who has time for that?
It just doesn't work.
Come on.
And we naturally smell so good anyways. I don't know if there's a need to add anything.
Okay, so apparently they're saying that they have discovered this ancient Egyptian perfume recipe that they are recreating. They say it is a myrrh-based scent with a pungent mix of cardamom, olive oil, and cinnamon.
I'm going to tell you that when I would look for something, those are never any of the notes that I'm looking for.
Well, do you want something that smells...
I feel like that smells
Isn't pungent? Isn't that bad?
Well, yeah, but I think back then...
Okay, having a sharply strong taste or smell. So it's a strong smell.
They didn't wear deodorant and stuff, so I think people just smelled more. So you needed a pungent smell to cover up everything else.
Scent is far stronger than modern equivalents and lingers for much longer.
Oh, you're going to say months. What are we wearing?
4 months.
Well, I don't want to wear... Did you say olive oil? Did you say myrrh?
It is myrrh, cardamom, olive oil, cinnamon. It actually, maybe it doesn't smell terrible. It just smells strong.
Smells too kitchen-y, like too baking.
Well, I mean, you got to use what you have on hand.
Yeah, that's what they're using.
You got to use what you got.
I like a very light citrus. Very, very light. A little maybe orange and vanilla, just very basic.
Oh, I like if I'm going to go for smells on a woman, I like a good fruity smell over like a flowery smell.
I feel like the cardamom and the myrrh and all that might be a bit overpowering for what we're used to smelling now, but maybe you can make your own version of this Egyptian smell when you get home.
Dude, your house is going to smell so bad. And they say it lingers longer. That's what you want.
Oh, and then get in your car.
But you know what? I like the way
linger there.
Okay, I have no idea what myrrh smells like, but I like the smell of cinnamon.
Yeah, but I don't think the myrrh is a modern smell.
Because, like, you think about it, I remember in elementary school, we made these little things with cinnamon cloves.
Yeah.
And we gave them to our moms because they smelled good.
Yeah.
So cinnamon.
Okay.
Hey.
Well, she's going to love this. Bottle some up for her, right?
Here, Mom, cardamom and olive oil. Mom, it's right in there.
It's called cardamom, yeah. It's the new fragrance.
It's right there.
Thanks for listening to the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Oh, no! I missed it! Do it again!
You can hear us live every day on the RadioU network through the RadioU app or at riot.radiou.com.
And there's some kids out here making the noises. I don't pay my taxes to not be able to sleep.